All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is March 11th, 2025. My name is John Carrigan. This is the BYOB Market Wrap Up or Trade Review. Let's take a look at some charts today. All right, so here is the game plan. If you traded the game plan, you should have made money. Price action came down through here, right through our line, 558.70, and found a bottom right here, 554.77. Pulled back, made a lower high. That was your clue to do it again. With the lower high, price action came all the way down to 552.20. Price action pulls back, could not hold over this shelf. We shorted again right up here into the close. All right. Looks like SPY's on the hunt for 550. Anyways, if you missed the first one, the second one was there for you to get. And then this would be the last one right there. Thanks, Mel. Mel did great today. Way to go, Mel. All right. So the pivot was never breached. So we never had to worry about the top number. All right. So the options that we traded today were either 0 DTE, 3 days till expiration, or 10 days till expiration. All right, so that's the game plan there for SPY. That worked out nicely. Let's take a look at the 2 hour. 2 hours still in a 2 hour downtrend. All right, on the daily chart, we are still lower high, lower low, closing under the trap. Under the 17, down here at the midpoint, still just neutral right here on SPY. Take a look at QQQ, and I imagine everybody got the same candle today. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, QQQ. Let's take a look at the game plan for QQQ. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. All right, and you can see the pivot was spiked, but top number never came into play. Take a look at it on the 10, and you can see right here we had a breach right here of the lower number, and that was tradable down here to the downside. Okay, so here's the first run from the pivot all the way down to the number. Had a pullback. Steep pullback here, kind of a looks like an accumulation pullback if you ask me, and then all the way back down here again, more accumulation. It looks like to me that's accumulation right there. So price action looking like it's on the hunt for maybe 450, maybe 460. We'll see what we get. There's QQQ. All right, let's take a look at daily chart. We already did the daily. All right, again, QQQ is bearish down here. If we zoom out, you can see here's our quad lines. We're down here in the lower third. That's bearish. Let's take a peek at IWM. IWM, same candle. Again, bearish down here in quadrant 4. All right, underneath the trap, underneath the 17, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, underneath the uptrend line. Okay, IWM bearish. FNGA. FNGA also bearish. Lower high, higher low, higher high, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the uptrend line. Down here in the lower third, that's bearish, FNGA. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow, lower high, lower low. Like I said, almost everybody got the same candle. Closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the uptrend line, under the midpoint, just neutral here on Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at our technicals, T21.22. We spent the day in the oversold zone, just chomping around, selling off as much as they could. There's T21.22, T21.23 on the 15-minute chart. All right, day commenced with more selling, a little buyback in the afternoon, and then more selling late into the close. Still caught underneath the falling 200 SMA. We're not making any higher highs, all right? And we're not filling any bullish, bearish gaps. So no signs of the bulls other than this little brief rally right through here. Okay, the T21, 23. Here's the 3-bar chart. 3 more red candle bars. Price action closing below a prior all-time high right there. So we've got a prior all-time high here and one here. And you can see price action closing below both of those. T21, 23 making lower highs and lower lows. It's in a downtrend. FNGU, not a bad day for FNGU. A lot of chomping around here, back and forth over the gold line here or the brown line, VWAP. All right, and then you can see a little bit of accumulation. So I'm looking at possible accumulation happening here. I think 550, maybe 548. It's going to be the magic number. There is some support at 544. We'll see how low they want to take it. Might be 544. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's take a look at few sectors. Start off with XLE. All right, XLE got lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time, the 12-month high anchored VWAP, under downtrend line 1, under downtrend line 2, under the midpoint, price action just neutral up here, okay, hanging out at the midpoint. Let's take a look at UNG. That's a high flyer. Lower high, lower low, closing inside a trap, over the rising 17, over the 12-month high anchored VWAP. Real high flyer up here in quadrant 4. Kind of really hot. I don't think I'd touch it right now. Kind of wait for a pullback. All right, so there's UNG on the daily chart. Very bullish up there. USO. USO got a inside day. It's a lower high and a higher low, closing inside a bearish trap under the falling 17, under the uptrend line, under the midpoint, under the buy box, moving up, giving it up and more. This is bearish down here all the way in the lower third. There's USO. Let's take a look at GLD. GLD, another high flyer up here. Higher low, higher high, closing over a trap, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Nice consolidation up here. This is looking good. Gold on the daily chart, that's bullish up there in quadrant 4. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, quadrant 4. Take this off. We don't need that. Don't need this either. All right. So there's gold. Let's take a look at silver. I think silver had a good day today. Silver did a great day. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over the 17 EMA, over the 12-year high anchored VWAP. Up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish on silver. All right, let's take a look at XLE. No, we did XLE. Let's take a look at SMH. SMH, same candle, lower high, lower low, under the trap, under the 17. Price action, let's see if we can go back to August. Well, let's just take it. Let's put some quad lines on here. All right. That looks good. All right, moving up, giving it up, all right, and more. All right, so this is bearish down here. All right. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the midpoint, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Moving up, giving it up, and more. This is bearish, closing down here in quadrant 4. Okay, let's take a look at XLK. XLK, price action here. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the uptrend line, under the midpoint, darn near being in the lower third. XLK I'm just going to call it, that's bearish down there, giving it up and more. All right, so let's take a look at XLF. XLF, lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17. Right down here in quadrant 3, moving up, giving it up. That's just neutral right there for XLF. Let's take a look at IYT. Oh, that's one horrendous candle. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the uptrend line. Down here in the lower third, this is bearish. Giving it up and more, that's bearish. All right, I'll take a few questions in the room, and there's nothing else happening. Today was a very difficult day. We had $6 pullbacks. We had $6 spinning tops. We had $12 pullbacks. We had crazy price action today. Did not understand any of it other than the fact that it appears to be some accumulation happening behind the scenes. And I'll have to say that only due to FNGA. All right, FNGA was while the rest of the market was kind of selling off, FNGA popped up here, and you can see almost all of the day was green for FNGA, indicating to me that the big caps were being purchased right through here in anticipation of the SPY 550 being hit, and I think they're expecting a bounce from that location. All right, that's it for me today, Mel. Where do you post your end-of-day market review? On Facebook, and right up here, the end-of-day market review is always posted on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and it's also posted up here. See morning market wrap up, the market wrap up for yesterday right there. This is for today. All right, that's for today, this morning. That's for yesterday, the market wrap up. All right, Mel did great today. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I had a tough day. I think everybody had a tough day today. It was a struggle. It was not easy. There was no easy button today. So, thanks, Greg. Thanks, everybody. Everybody have a beautiful evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8. We're going to have CPI. Maybe things will settle down. I wish they'd hurry up and hit 550, get this over with, get back to normal. All right, see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning.